What's up, everybody? It is Matt from Electric All Wheel, and today we have the Denago City 2 step through with a 500 watt rear hub, 13.6 amp hour, 48 volt factory battery, and we are going to add a 15 amp hour, 48 volt battery utilizing an Electric All Wheel dual battery discharge balance kit with custom adapter cables fit for the Denago brand. We will be adding a 40 amp balancer. If you're interested in the range calculations, stick around for that. And I also must advise, if you guys are going to be adding all this range to your bike, it is well worth the expense to add a suspension seat post. We will leave a link for that in the description below as well. It is the perfect combination for your long range bikes to be adding a suspension seat post so that you are out there, your bum will thank you on your long range rides. You are not isolated to this 15 amp hour battery. You can get any 48 volt battery you want. Just make sure you have the correct connections. The XT60 that can plug into the dual battery discharge balancer kit, and that your BMS matches your controller current limit, which for this bike is 21. If you haven't already, give us a like and subscribe on YouTube. It is our primary, and if you're in the area, check out E-Bikes of Tampa Bay, Florida. Get in that Facebook group, make an event, and go for a ride with your friends. Want to put a special shout out to the Bike Lab for allowing us to utilize this Denago City 1. You can check out this bike at their store location in Dunedin. They are moving, so check that out as well. And also say thanks to George for these red Adirondack chairs. They are made out of recycled bottles, which is awesome. All right, let's get to it. First thing I'm going to do quickly is get some slack in the motor cable so that we can pull the controller. I'm going to go ahead and take out my battery. And then inside of here, there are two key screws that I want to remove. One is at the back. And then the other one is up front. There we go. Now I also know that right here, that spot right there is a screw that is on the outside, so I'm going to go ahead and remove that. And this is a torque screw, so keep that in mind. You're going to need a torque screwdriver to get this thing out of here. There we go. Now you have the connection to the charger, which is down below, so keep that in mind. We don't really need to remove anything further. What I can show you is that rated voltage 48 volts, rated current is 10, low voltage protection, and then max current is 21. So we're going to use a 40 amp balancer with this. I'm going to go ahead and unplug these two connections right here. This is our key point, and then we need to find an entrance on the bottom so we can get our cables in. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and thread these two ends up through the bottom right here underneath the bottom bracket so that we can make our connection. And go ahead and send this up into the open space that I have. All right, and there they are coming out right there. So that's good. So now that I have my two connections, I'm going to go ahead and plug them into the existing connections that we just undid from the controller. That one. And then when I push my controller back in, I'm actually grabbing a hold of the motor cable and using that to help bring it back down into the housing of the bike. Perfect. So then I will go ahead and feed my battery mount back in. And then for this demonstration, I want you to remember that you're going to need to put these screws back in. I'm not going to do that for removal purposes, but keep in mind that you will replace these two screws. The wood screw looking screw goes up front, and then the one for the body of the bike goes in the back, which is this one. And then you will need to align with your Torx wrench the screw that holds the controller in, which is on the, you place this screw outside to in, and that holds the controller in place. So what I'm going to do now is demonstrate function. I'm going to take my two ends and just go ahead and plug them in. There's no real way to mess this up. Plug them in how they fit. And this is our balancer. There we go. And then this last plug will be the second battery here. At this point, I'm just going to go ahead and plug in my second battery and see if we can get some life to the bike. Made sure that it's on. There is no factory battery. And there we go. That's error 24. So that's the motor cable. So remember to plug in your motor cable. There we go. Give it a paz. And then with the Denagos, you have to get the bike in motion before it will hold a throttle move. And there we go. So that's throttle. The bike is live, so that's good news. No factory battery. That's only the external battery. Now what we'll do is just go ahead and remove the second battery. We are going to replace the factory battery. The second battery is not hooked up. And then we'll see if we can get some life to the bike again. That's good. Perfect. Display is on. Second battery is not hooked up. Awesome. So now we're going to go ahead about stringing the battery and then hook up the bike case straps so that we can get this mounted. So for this application, we are going to use these bike case bottle cage strap adapters, and they actually come with this screw right here. And what you have to know is that you need a screw that is going to fit with a shallower head on it so that you can get it into the mount for the battery. And that is so that the battery will slide over this once the bottle cage strap is attached to it. And so I'm going to go ahead and take these out and mount them to the battery mount so that we can get it strapped to the bike. So again, these were 2 screws that I bought aftermarket just so they could slide over, the battery could slide over the plate. Now I'm going to take the other bottle cage strap with the existing screw that it comes with. I'm going to take this out and I'm just going to mount 1 screw through the bottom here so that it attaches. And then when I do this, I like to ensure that my strap adapters are aligned so the straps are on both the same side. So I'm just going to go ahead and put my battery on, lock it into place. Perfect. Now I have a removable battery with straps. Excellent. For mounting the balancer, I have taken a liking to this cell phone bag. So this is from Bike Case as well. And we're going to actually mount it upside down so that these 2 zippers come together and allow the cables to run through the bottom of it. So for this, I'm going to unplug my balancer from my 2 cables from the test, and then I'm just going to run them up through the opening here at the bottom bracket so that I can get them up behind the seat post. Like so. And I'm going to go ahead and plug in my balancer again. And then I'm going to take this bag, I'm going to remove all of the packaging. I'm going to go ahead and install the balancer here. And then I'm going to actually plug in the second battery as well. And I'm going to go ahead and strap it to the bike. Then you can actually use this bottom strap to help gather some of this, but I'm going to leave it loose. I'm pretty happy with that right there. Just want to make sure that everything is captured inside. Well, there you have it. We have successfully added another 15 amp hour 48 volt battery to this Denago City 2 step through with the Bike Case bottle cage straps and then the Bike Case phone holder, which works perfectly for holding your balancer when you do your install. I know a lot of you are here for the range calculations, so let's get to that. The original battery is 13.6 amp hours plus 15 amp hours of the second battery, and that gives you 28.6 amp hours. Multiply that by 48, you get 1,372.8 watt hours. We're going to divide that by 25, which is the Mica toll constant, which says it's 25 watt hours per mile ridden at 20 miles per hour. And you get 54.9 miles out of this beast. That is dependent only on this battery. If you get a bigger 48 volt battery, of course you will have more mileage, and this will be dependent on the terrain. Again, I recommend get a suspension seat post if you're going to be out there for these long range rides. You will thank me later, I promise. If you haven't already, give us a like and subscribe on YouTube. It is our primary, and if you're in the area, check out eBikes of Tampa Bay, Florida. Check out our channel for all of the upcoming videos. We will also have the ability to have an accessory port with dual USB. You can actually use this instead of our universal 40 amp. You can utilize the Datex DX2 dual input, dual output combiner and get our accessory plug-in, which should be coming online in the next month or so. The installation would be about the same. You just change the units. Instead of getting the 40 amp balancer, you'll get the Datex DX2. We'll talk to you next time.